25, which would be a shame. She's been a brilliant athlete her whole career and would be, or is enjoying being part of Grand Slam. Sian Salmon, decent draw for her in 7 years. She was 6th in the hurdle event. Just need to judge this right, the athletes. I think Sydney will certainly be able to do that. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, done this so many times. Such a great exponent over all the sprints, never mind with there's hurdles in the way. Rochelle Clayton, 32-year-old Jamaican, has run a flat 400 already this year, and a fairly swift 52.3 thereabouts. Not too far off that personal best, you can see in the caption. Adrianette Knight, her teammate, similarly indoors for her though, 52.8. Normally you run quicker outdoors than indoors. So this is Peters of the Netherlands, a big part of the Dutch very successful 4x4 and mixed 4x4 squad that does so well at Olympics and Worlds. And then Cassandra Tate of the USA on the inside. Just might find the others moving away from her here, particularly I think with Peters in the lane 3. Just got held a little bit longer by the starter there, but they're away and gone. McLaughlin-Levrone already making ground, and we've just had a pull-up from Rochelle Clayton, who's pulled up in the first 100 meters, maybe trying to hang on to the American, who knows. Going very quickly, Cassandra Tate, right on the inside, has started exceptionally quickly through the first 200 meters, but it's McLaughlin-Levrone out in lane 6, smoothly making her way around the top end. Cassandra Tate, eyed on the inside, has run an excellent first 300, but is she going to pay for that as they come into the wind in the home straight? Sydney out on her own as we expected it to be, then it's going to be a real scrap for the minor places behind her. Tate is just starting to tread water in the home straight there, but it's Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone who's going to come through to make it 2 wins in the women's long hurdles. It's 50.32. Knight just took 2nd place. It was tough out there. The wind was never going to make that easy, but the victory was never really in doubt. It was just a case of how quick and by how far. Well, the answer was almost 2 seconds, which in the 400 meters is a long, long way. It has to be said, though, that Knight has run her season's best, and Dalilah Muhammad in the 52-second mark. So there's our winner. There's our slam winner, our final slam winner of the first Grand Slam track. As we said, if you're going to run that quick for 400 hurdles, of course you can run quick on the flat.
Yeah, being able to run 48 seconds in the flat 4 as a 4 hurdler is unheard of. She ran 22 seconds into a headwind in the 200 last season. So speed-wise, she's not even comparable to some of these women out here. So I think she may even surprise us later on in the year and say, look, I'm going to go to the World Championships to run the 4.
Or maybe the 800.
I don't know about that.
I would love to see her run an 800 or 2, but I don't know if she wants to.
But I mean, really, just going through the motions here and just securing the money, you know, it's an easy 400,000 for her if she goes through all 4 and dominates the way she's doing. But if she wants to really test herself and test some of the other competitors and show what she can do in other events, she's gonna jump in that long sprints and go against some of those other women in that 4 and that deuce.
Well, MJ enjoyed it. You may hear the party's already started here in the stadium. There was a big win that Cassandra Tate went through the first 300 meters. She must have only been about 4 or 5 meters behind her, but look where she finished in the end.
On April 6, 2025, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone once again etched her name in the history books with a dazzling display in the women's 400-meter flat at the Grand Slam track event in Kingston, Jamaica. While she's globally recognized for her mastery of the 400-meter hurdles, this time McLaughlin-Levrone unleashed her speed on the flat track, cruising to a 50.32-second finish in breezy conditions. It marked her 2nd triumph of the Grand Slam series and reinforced her pursuit of the coveted overall title. The race was stacked with veterans and stars, including Dalilah Muhammad, the seasoned Olympic champion and world titlist, who declared 2025 as her final competitive season. Despite the formidable lineup, the spotlight belonged entirely to McLaughlin-Levrone, whose fluid and forceful stride made victory appear inevitable. The early phases of the race saw an electric surge from Cassandra Tate, who rocketed out of the blocks from lane 1 and dominated through the first 300 meters. But as the field entered the final stretch into a stiff headwind, her lead started to crumble. With impeccable control, McLaughlin-Levrone emerged smoothly, accelerating past her rivals with seemingly effortless power to seal a commanding win. Behind her, the rest of the contenders battled fiercely for the remaining podium spots. Among the chasers were US ace Anna Cockrells and the Netherlands relay standout Leek Claver. Jamaica's Rhonda White couldn't sustain the early intensity and exited early. British-Jamaican Adele Tracy and home favorite Andronette Knight also competed, with Knight managing to claw her way into second place. Tate, despite her fast start, faded heavily and settled for sixth. Yet, what made the race truly compelling wasn't just the result, it was what it hinted at for the season ahead. McLaughlin-Levrone's performance suggested far more than a one-off show of speed. Having recently clocked a 52.76 in the 400-meter hurdles, and owning a sub-23-second 200m from last season in headwind conditions, the possibility of her exploring multiple events looms large. There's even buzz around her testing the waters in the 800m or focusing more seriously on the open 400m at the World Championships. Analysts marveled at her ability to compete at such a high level across different sprint events. Running in the low 50s in windy conditions, and with her capabilities suggesting a possible 48-second flat 400m, McLaughlin-Levrone is inching toward a place among the all-time greats, not just as a hurdler, but as a complete sprint athlete. This Grand Slam meet was more than an elite race, it was part of a larger vision. The Grand Slam Track Series, a fresh initiative aimed at giving track athletes enhanced global platforms, includes stops in places like Miami and Kingston and awards a $400,000 jackpot to the overall series winner. Designed to merge competition with commercial appeal, it provides athletes real financial incentives and global exposure. The commentary during the event highlighted the economic struggles many athletes face, stressing how events like this can fundamentally reshape the sports ecosystem. McLaughlin-Levrone's stunning run in Jamaica gave the Grand Slam series a massive credibility boost. Her presence, talent, and dominance elevated the entire competition, drawing both media coverage and enthusiastic fan engagement. The roar of the Kingston crowd underscored the importance of moments like these, not just for spectators, but for the sport itself. As celebrations erupted in the stadium, Sydney stood as a beacon of the sport's future, disciplined, marketable, and undeniably elite. Her post-race remarks were calm yet powerful. Anything is possible. Stay focused, stick to the plan, and trust yourself. Though it appeared on the schedule as just another 400m race, it was much more than that. It was a declaration, a reminder that McLaughlin-Levrone is still evolving, still reaching, and still rewriting the limits of sprinting. With half of the Grand Slam series now behind her, she moves closer to clinching the full sweep and the hefty prize that accompanies it. To her peers and fans, one message echoes clearly. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone isn't just the queen of the hurdles. She may well be on the verge of conquering the 400-meter world in every form imaginable.